Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And it is time for Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, Heating and Air Conditioning, home of the local Amana dealer. And it's a great day in the Springfield. It's a great day at Spring Mountain Air. How can we make you smile today? By listening to Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. That's how. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Dan.
That's the way you answer the phone out there, isn't it?
That is the way we answer the phone.
I wrote that down so I'd remember. I like that.
We do get a lot of positive comments about how we answer the phone. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So how are you today, Mark? Did you survive your trip last weekend, your bus tour?
Yes, I did. I tell you what, we had a great time. I was so amazed. The guys, for not being together for 22 years, they sounded like they did 22 years ago. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. The music and the singing and everything was just great.
Wow.
And but I learned a big lesson. It's really hard to sleep in a bunk on a bus when you're on Highway 8 out of Sullivan going down to Potosi, because I'm telling you, it was a crooked road, and you can sure tell it. But I'm about caught up. It took me a while to recoup, but
well, maybe they should maybe they should put seat belts in them bunks.
Well,
keep you from falling out. I don't know.
But it was fun. We had a great time, and what an experience, and so I was glad I got to do it.
Well, I'm glad for you, but I'm real happy that you're back with us today.
I'm glad to be back.
And today, our guest is Michael Summers. Michael is with MPJ Enterprises. Is that correct, Michael? And what he does is, this is going to be a little different kind of show today. He is not a realtor per se, but he can help people that are either needing or wanting to sell their home for various reasons, or needing or wanting to purchase a home, but maybe does not want to go through normal channels to do that. So welcome to the show, Michael. It's great to have you today.
Thank you.
And so we're just going to let Michael tell a little bit about what he can do, how he helps folks out, and some of the services he can provide. But I want to give out the phone number because I think we might have some calls this show. Right. So the phone number is 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. So while we're talking to Michael and getting some information and stuff out, if you have a call, if you want to ask Michael a question, or if you want to ask Mark a question, or me, or even Dan, we'll let Dan answer a question if you have one for Dan.
We will.
Just give us a call and we'll be glad to answer your questions today. So why don't we start out, Michael, just kind of give people an overview of what your business is and what you do for a living.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we're a local real estate investment company. We work with a group of private investors here in Springfield, Missouri. We buy and sell homes here in the local area. Our expertise is buying homes from folks that need to sell and maybe are having trouble doing that, or they have a house that maybe is in a distressed situation, needs a lot of work, and they just don't really know where to go. So we help folks with that. And then ideally for folks that would like to buy a house, but maybe they can't get qualified for traditional bank financing, or maybe they just don't want to at this time, we provide non-qualifying easy financing, and we can do that on long term. They don't have to, get a home that they have to cash out in 2 years, or they lose it or something like that. So we do help folks with that, and basically...
Did you lose us, Dan? No. Okay.
Basically, if they can afford a reasonable down payment and the monthly payment, they're approved. And we've got many homes here in Springfield. We buy and sell homes in the Springfield, Bolivar, Republic, Ozark, Nixa, in about a 30-mile radius. So that's kind of what we do.
Okay. Well, it looks like we already have a caller on the line.
Yes, we do. Let's talk to Roger in Branson. Go ahead, Roger.
I hate to ask a question that's off topic, but
That's okay.
I'll here a second. I'll ask my question, but getting to what this gentleman is saying, that's a good way to dispose of an estate residents that you just don't want to mess with, you know?
That's correct.
So, yeah, so I know some friends that have done that, and it was a win-win. Anyway, my question is, Mark, how's your plumbing skills?
Well, I'm a little rusty, but yeah, I need some brushing up. But let me have it.
So was this plumbing a little rusty? Had a 15-year-old water heater that chose the worst day of the winter, even though it's been a good winter, to go out.
Right.
Why does plumbing always go bad when it's a bad day?
You know, that's what I've always wanted to know.
It's Murphy's Law.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
even asked Nathan that not too long ago. Why does your furnace always go out on the coldest day? You know, that's the way it happens.
But this was an original 15-year-old water heater that was put in when the home was built,
Right.
and it had to be replaced. And in replacing it, it was hooked up backwards. The hot went in the cold, and the cold was...
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And it's been that way for 15 years.
Uh-huh.
So does that mean we had hot water flushing toilets, or what does that mean?
Well, no, it's probably just the fact that if it went in the wrong side, if the cold went in the hot side and the hot come out the other, it's probably going to the right place. It's just the fact that when your cold water comes in, there is a tube that will take that cold water all the way to the bottom of the tank. And so, in other words, it's not coming in on the top and causing hot waters in there to cool off. And so you may have not been getting the proper amount of hot water, but if it was more than likely going to the right place. It just they just had them cross there at the tank. Otherwise, you'd have probably noticed it if you would if you'd have had hot water going to the stool and stuff. Now, did your faucets, was they crossed at the faucets also?
I didn't notice it. I didn't remember
Yeah.
to check anything.
Yeah.
I just hooked it up the correct way. But
Sure.
the complaint was that the hot water wasn't lasting long enough.
Right.
And on a 15-year-old water heater, I just automatically
Sure.
said replace it. You know.
Yeah,
So-
and the reason the water wasn't lasting long enough is because that cold water was coming in right in the top of the tank, and so it was basically cooling off while hot water was sitting there, and it was right there at the top, so it could go right out that where the hot water was exiting the tank. So there's like I say, a tube on that cold side that'll take the cold water in all the way to the bottom of the tank, and so
Yeah.
it makes it more efficient. So that's probably what was happening.
So being a licensed plumber doesn't necessarily mean...
Well, you know, if a licensed plumber put that in, he ought to know better. You know, that's why they stamp on those tanks, hot and cold. So.
couldn't help but taking a shot at them, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no doubt. I'll tell you.
I could understand it if they hadn't written it down, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hey, well, you guys have a good day, and thanks for the info.
Oh, thank you, Roger. Appreciate it.
Well, you need to get a plumber that can read, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. That would help.
That'd be a good start.
Yeah, that's for sure. So.
All right, we'll get back to Michael here. And, okay, we were talking about the area that you service. And that guy, Roger brought up a good point. If you inherit a home or some property, now you do more than just single residential properties, correct?
We mainly focus on residential properties. However, we have purchased commercial property in the past also. But our expertise and our main focus is providing affordable single-family homes here in this area. There's many people that are looking for that type of home. They're again the key affordable. It has to fit their budget. It has to be something that they can have a success and a win-win situation. Because if you put someone in a property that really is not within their budget and what they need, you're setting them up to fail. And we don't do that. We want to make sure it's a win-win situation for everybody. And on the flip side, when someone's selling a home, they want to get a fair price for the property, and we can do that in many ways with all cash or terms or many different things. And once in a while, we can even do a trade where somebody's wanting to go up or trade down. And if we've got the right property that fits their situation, then again, it's a win-win situation. Also, if somebody's wanting to sell their property, we do have a website where they can go look at who we are, what we do. Also, they can fill out a questionnaire on there, which tells us a little bit about their situation in their house and helps us evaluate what we can or cannot do for them. That website is ownahometoday.net, and the 2 is the number 2. That's OWNAHOME, 2, day.net. So when someone's looking to sell their home, that's a great tool for us and them to help us evaluate. Here's where their house is, this is what they're needing, this is their situation, so we can really work with those folks. On the flip side, someone that's looking for a nice new home for their family in an area they want, and they want to see what we have a website that has a listing of our homes, which is ownahome2day.net. That's when they want to buy, and it's sell your home today when they want to sell. The Own a Home Today, again, is OWNAHOME, the number 2, DAY.net. Not .com, but .net. So those are great tools for people to view the homes we have available, and also to tell us about their home if they're wanting to sell, and see what their situation is and what we can do to help them.
Well, like you said, it's a great way, like if you have some estate property or something. We have some friends down by us, and they're an older couple. Well, the lady, her mother passed away about a year or so ago. Well, they inherited her home here in Springfield, and that has been, I've watched them struggle with this, and it has been a real kind of hardship on them a little bit, because the home really wasn't maintained that well, and then you have siblings involved, and it got to be such a mess for them that they finally ended up just purchasing the home themselves so that they could pay off the family members who were wanting their money right now.
Right.
And so it's been quite a burden for them. They've tried to go in, and now they're trying to fix it up some, so maybe they can sell it and hopefully get their money back and that type of thing. So there's all kinds of situations where you might have a piece of property for whatever reason that Michael could help you out with, and that you could alleviate yourself from a lot of maybe financial stress and headaches and all kinds of situations like that. Now, one of the things that you've mentioned to me when visiting with you in the past that you can do is you can also help reestablish someone's credit.
Yes, we do work with that, and of course we don't do it personally. Kind of how the program works is, say somebody has some credit that's just not going to allow them to qualify for a loan today. And there's so many reasons for that. It can be medical reasons, it could be job loss, transfer, it could be just, we spent too much and we went over our budget and we had a situation. Things happen to people. It's life. But when someone comes into our program and they find a house that fits their needs, and the down payment, monthly payments really do fit their budget so they can have a successful situation. We have a couple different mortgage people that work at some of the local banks. There's no charge for this. They go in, they sit down, they can go over their credit with them, tell them exactly what they've got, what kind of things they can do to improve that situation. So literally in 1, 2, or 3 years, these folks can qualify for traditional financing and just cash out. We have several people that do that, and they're just so happy they get back on track. They didn't know how. They finally had somebody that would take them by the hand, kind of show them what to do. Somebody that was out there for their benefit, not out to charge them some kind of crazy fee or something, because there's no charge for this at all. And the bank wins because they're helping someone get back on track, and then they're going to get a loan from somebody that is a very good loan. And so everybody wins, and that's what we want. We want it to be a win-win situation.
Sure. Now, some other things that you could probably do, so you have a situation where someone maybe needs to do a short sale, or maybe they've fallen behind in their payments and they don't really want to go through the foreclosure process. Do you have programs available to help people that have those type of situations? Because I don't know, maybe that has slowed down a little bit here. You would know more of that than I do, but I know in the last year or so, that was quite a problem even here locally.
Yes, you're right. There's still a lot of that out there, and we do have some programs to help that. We work ourselves, and we also work with some other realtors that are here that are experts in short sales, and that is a good solution for many people. We also sometimes, depending on the property, can help them keep from doing a short sale or the other by finding someone that can buy that property, and sometimes even when there's not really an equity situation, it just depends on each individual house. But one thing we really enjoy doing too is we would love to do business with everybody, but you can't. Not every situation is going to work. But what we try to do is give as much good information to everybody, whether we're buying a property from them or we're selling a property to them or they're looking to buy or sell. And we try to educate them as much as we know to help them make good decisions. So a lot of people have called me. I've given them some advice. They go, you know what, I think that is a great idea. That is what we're going to do. And I'm glad to help them because I'm not the solution for everybody, but I do help many people. But we always want to help them in any way we can.
How can someone get a hold of you, Michael, if they have a question or maybe have a situation that you could help them with? How can they reach you?
We've got a couple phone numbers. Of course, I give them the websites out, and I'll give those again. They can reach me on phone number 619-3587. They can also reach us at 597-3140. Both those numbers have the area code of 417. So that's 417-619-3587 or 417-597-3140. Of course, if you're looking to buy a home, please go to our website, ownahometoday.net. Look at the inventory we have. And if you don't see something you like there this week, be checking because we add new homes to that just about every week because we sell them. We have to have more. And of course, if you're selling your home, sellyourhometoday.net. So those are ways to reach us, and we can see what we can do to help you.
Now, if someone, maybe they go to your website and they need to purchase a home and they need a little bit of help with restoring their credit, that type of thing, then if they go and look, now is all of your inventory on that website?
Yes, all of our inventory that is ready is on that website. For instance, right now we probably have 6 or 8 homes available in the area. We have about 5 more coming on in the next week or two. So there'll be anywhere from 6 to 15 homes available at any one week. And they range from monthly payments of $495 a month. That's probably the least expensive home we have. That's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1 car, totally remodeled home. And then we have executive homes all the way up to $1,400, $1,500 a month that maybe are 5,000 square feet and beautiful subdivisions. And so we try to have something for everybody and something they can afford that fits their family because that's their home. That's hey, we're living here. This is our family's home. So we want it to be good for them.
So if they go to this website and they look at your inventory and you don't have exactly what they're looking for on there, they can still give you a call because, like you said, you might have something that you're in the process of refurbing that might be exactly what they're looking for. So they can go, even though they can't find exactly what they want right now, when they look, they can still call you and say, Michael, this is what we're looking for. Do you have anything coming up or anything available? And that would also help you look for, that are people that are wanting to sell. Then you could match people up that way as well. Just because it's not on the site right now doesn't mean that you don't have it or that you can't find it for them. Is that correct?
Exactly. No, that's a very good idea. If they don't see something they like, there is a short information application they can fill out there. Nothing confidential, their name, their phone number, what they're looking for, what kind of payment they want, things like that. So that's emailed to me so I can keep them in our list of someone's looking for this type of home. So when we get that home, if we don't have it today, as soon as we get it, we send them an email or a call. And then if they don't see something and they have questions, by all means, we want them to call. How's this program work? Exactly what are we getting? If we like that home, how do we see it? Once it works, or once we find a home that we see, how does it work? How do we get there? So I'll be glad to go over that with people. And it's much more simple than a lot of people realize. If they find a home that they love, hey, this fits our family. We have the right bedrooms, the bath, the location's good, the down payment, the monthly payment fits us. How do we get this? It's a simple application process, and literally they can apply today and move in a couple days. It's just that quick. Or if, say, they've got a lease that they need 30 or 60 days, they can put a deposit down and hold that property so it doesn't get away from them.
Well, I know going through a lot of the conventional methods of buying a home, FHA and those type of methods to do that, sometimes that can get really complicated. There's so much detail and so much paperwork, and it can take hours of your time, and it's frustrating, and trying to secure the loan, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff. And I know some loan officers who do that type of work, and they're very good at what they do, but it seems like that just gets more and more detailed and more cumbersome to get through. So I do know, I can tell our listeners that for us, when we got ready to move to the lake permanently and had our house in Nixa, actually Michael is the one who came in and purchased our house. it was a very smooth, easy process. And we got a very, very fair price for our home. And so we were able to just go ahead and make that transition very easily. Didn't take, I think we closed in 2 weeks or something. I mean, it was a very short period of time.
That's great.
So it was real easy for us to make that transition without having to. And there's nothing with going through a realtor. Realtors, I know some great realtors. I've referred some. And they do work very, very hard for their money. But, for me, I had a home at the lake. So when you put your home on the market, one of the frustrating things for me is you will kill yourself keeping that thing picked up, straightened up, cleaned
Sure.
up, dusted. You want it perfect for when that realtor comes through to show that home. And I really just didn't have the time to go through that process with our house in Nixa.
That's what I find out a lot, Mary, because I'm a realtor, and it is difficult, especially when people nowadays, all the family members work. It's not usually like the wife stays home and just does nothing but clean house. That's just a thing of the past. And, that's one of the things as a realtor that we try to strive, hey, keep the house picked up, keep it clean, and everything. That can't always happen.
No.
And there is, believe it or not, people that don't feel comfortable about people coming through their house, even though there's always a licensed agent with them. With the way the lock boxes and everything are today, there's a record of it, who was in your house and everything, but people still don't feel comfortable with that. So there's lots of reasons that people don't want to use a real estate agent.
Sure. And it might be a case where they just don't have the convenience of that time frame.
Sure.
I mean,
Let's
it might
just sell it
take-
and be done with it.
Sure.
I don't want to deal with all this other stuff. Exactly.
And I know that there are auction places out there, and that's a pretty big thing now, is you just put it up for auction. I've heard good and bad about the auction thing, because you could end up with maybe losing a substantial amount of money putting it up for auction, unless you put a minimum price or something on it. But then you might go through that whole process, no one bids that high, and
Yeah.
you've done that whole process, and you
Sure.
still have the house. And so that's something else. Some people have had a lot of success with that. Some people are really sorry that they did
Sure.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So with Michael, what you can do is you can come in, you know exactly what's going on. It's a short time frame. A lot of the new thing now is when you have your house for sale, to stage it. That's a whole nother thing you have to deal with now. You got to
Yeah.
pack part of your personal stuff. Okay, now we're going to put that stuff.
Yeah.
And so for us, this was just a real easy solution where we didn't have to try and deal with packing up half the house in Nixa, finding somewhere to put that stuff, because you don't want to pack it in the garage. And we had some outbuildings we could put in, but you just don't want to do that. You want to have everything neat and tidy and
Yeah.
organized for whoever's coming to look at it, so they
Sure.
can envision themselves there. And so for us, it was a great fit. So that's why I have him on the show today, because I asked him to come, because he did such a good job for us and made it such an easy thing
Right.
for us to get through. So
Well, thank you for the testimonial. I
sure.
really appreciate that, and that is how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be good for both, work smooth, help people get on with their days and their lives so they don't have to mess with it. I do want to take a moment to say, realtors are great, and if you're working with a realtor, by all means, let them, do their job, because they work very hard for the people that
Yes, they
they've
do.
got the listings for, and that's a great way to sell your house. I'm a good alternative way also if you want an opinion before you list it, or you've had it listed and you've let it expire, and maybe it's been months after that, you still would really need to sell that house. Definitely give us a call, because we have many ways to help people. But I work with realtors on buying houses, and I work with realtors when I sell houses. So I have nothing but good things to say about working with realtors also. But your house was just like she said. It was very clean and staged and nice, and those houses are real easy to work with on buying and selling. And we found a really nice family that just fell in love with it, and everybody had a win situation. So that's a good point on selling the houses.
yep, worked great. Well, we have to take a break, so thanks for being with us, and come back here. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
This is the Wall Street Journal Report. I'm Jennifer Kishinka. The economy is expected to continue strengthening, possibly picking up this spring and summer. The Conference Board says its index of leading economic indicators grew 0.4% in January, led by manufacturing hours. Gus Fauché, senior economist at PNC Financial, says things are looking up.
It tells us what we're seeing in the rest of the data, which is growth has picked up from the middle of 2011 when we had some factors that were weighing on the economy, and now growth is looking stronger, and the prospects for 2012 continue to look good.
On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow Industrial's up 30 at 12,934. The S&P 500 up 2. The Nasdaq is down 5. H.J. Heitz's quarterly earnings rose 4% as strong sales growth in emerging markets and by its namesake ketchup offset weaker results in North America, where sales volume fell as Heinz raised prices on frozen potatoes, pasta sauce, and ketchup. This is the Wall Street Journal Report.
Welcome to Wilkins Bank. For checking, press 1. Savings, press 2. For other options, press other options. Is that correct? Press 3. To go back. For checking, press 1. Checking, is that correct? Mortgages. Lost or stolen ATM. For fraud.
If your bank won't let you talk to a real person 24/7 by pressing 0, you need an Ally. Ally Bank. No nonsense. Just people sense. Member F.
We want to know. How do you use WebEx?
Last week, I started a meeting on my office computer, but had to go cross town for another meeting. So Mike drove, and I was able to finish my WebEx meeting using the WebEx app on my smartphone. This is how you do business.
Connect online and share what's on your computer screen with others. Anytime, anywhere. On their desktop, on their laptop, or mobile device. Go to WebEx.com right now and try WebEx free. WebEx from Cisco. WEBEX.
That's right. More nasty political ads from out-of-state special interests attacking Claire McCaskill.
But here in Missouri, we won't be fooled.
This isn't about abortion.
Claire McCaskill is fighting to prevent abortion. She wants all women to have access to affordable birth control. No government can tell a woman whether she can use birth control.
And this isn't about religion. Our churches remain free to worship in any way they choose.
No church or hospital will be forced to pay for anything that violates their beliefs. Claire will fight anyone, including the president, to protect our religious freedom.
Just like she led the fight to save the auto industry and stop the Chinese from cheating Missouri manufacturers.
And stood up to the Obama administration to stop regulations that would cost Missouri jobs.
Washington hasn't seen it in a while, but Claire McCaskill's independent, Missouri style.
And we've got a senator on our side.
I'm Claire McCaskill, and I approve this message.
Paid for by McCaskill for Missouri 2012.
Live from Progressive. Flo here. Today I'm talking about Progressive Snapshot Discount. It's our biggest discount yet. It's the Grand Canyon of discounts. It's the white whale of keeping cash in your pocket. It's so big astronauts will say, I can see the Snapshot Discount from way up here. Well, you get the point.
The Snapshot Discount. It's new, it's a big deal, and it's finally here. Learn more at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates, Mayfield Village, Ohio. Prices vary based on how you buy. Snapshot is not available in all states.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. 2 men have been shot following a high-speed chase near Rolla. Officers say it started when a Phelps County deputy tried to pull a car over on I-44. The chase ended on the north side of Rolla. The men were shot when they allegedly tried to run down 2 officers. They were taken to area hospitals. Officers say they found marijuana in the car. A man from Stover has been charged with the beating death of a 3-year-old boy. 21-year-old Thomas Presley allegedly beat his girlfriend's son and then claimed the boy was hit by a car along Highway 135. Blake Litton was later pronounced dead at a hospital in Sedalia. And the Christian County coroner says that it was a heart condition that caused the death of a student at Spokane High School. 17-year-old Forrest Varney died after collapsing in the school gym during basketball practice. Funeral services are scheduled for Sunday in the Spokane High School gym. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
We'll see partly sunny skies today, high 56. It will become cloudy tonight with rain at times, low 36 to 40. Cloudy and cooler tomorrow with rain at times, high 49 as we start the weekend, low for tomorrow night, 28. Mostly sunny on Sunday, high 48, low Sunday night, 27. Monday will be rather cloudy and windy as you head back to work, a high 55. A couple of showers are possible on Tuesday, high again 55. I'm AccuWeather's Jason Lord.
And the present temperature reading in Springfield is 43 degrees, actually 49 degrees, bright sunshiny skies. It's a beautiful day in the Ozarks. 49 degrees in Springfield.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
And you are listening to Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your local Amanda dealer. They're heating and air conditioning. Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning. Your hosts are Mary Pearson and Mark Withers, and we're back with the second half of the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the second half of the show.
Good to be back.
It's always good to be back. I think we say that every Friday.
We do, but it's the truth.
We're just happy to be here.
We are. Sometimes you're just happy to be anywhere. You know?
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
And I bet you're happy to be home.
I am. I think this weekend. I'm not. I'm hoping this afternoon gets warm enough. You know what'll happen.
I'm thinking the Harley's coming out of the garage,
and because I think the boss is going to go play golf. So if he's gone, well, then I can get the Harley out.
There you go.
So, but rest of the weekend, just catch up on things around the house. We're still working hard, getting ready for the big Convoy of Hope fundraiser that's going to happen March the 3rd, and. Oh, it's just tremendous. The Greater Ozarks Bluegrass Society is which I'm the vice president of, but they are helping us this year with the Convoy of Hope fundraiser. And wow, we got a great band from Chicago coming in, Special Consensus, along with some great local talent. And people are just amazing. They're just calling, wanting to know what they can do to help. We got to feed all the bands and everything.
Sure.
People are helping us with that, and we're just going to have a super concert this year to raise money for them.
Now, where's that event going to be held?
It's actually going to be out on Evans Road at River Bluff Fellowship. Those folks out there at that church have been so nice just to turn the property over to us and let us have our deal. And so it's great parking. It's easy to get to. It's kind of between Springfield Lake and 65 right there on Evans Road. We're going to have some great concessions and food, and whole day of music starts about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That'll be Saturday, March the 3rd, and it all goes to Convoy of Hope, every bit of it.
And the event is inside.
It is inside.
So
yeah.
You don't have to worry about the weather.
Don't have to worry about the weather. Beautiful place out there, and we're going to have a great time. So that's keeping me busy working on that.
I'll bet it is. And, that sounds like something fun to go to, but that Friday, we're going to be in St. Louis for the March Madness games.
Oh, really?
That's always our little mini winter vacation.
So you won't be back on Saturday, then?
No, we'll be back sometime on Sunday.
Well,
so we're going to miss it.
Well,
but we go with another couple of ours, and that's our little mini winter vacation every year.
And
it's always a lot of fun, and we always root for the Bears and hope they make it to the final. Yeah. But you never know.
Never know. That's
so.
Right.
I wish you lots of luck with that.
Well,
we'll talk about that some more before that comes around. So
sounds good.
But I think right now what we should do is get back to our guest.
I think we should.
Yes, he offered his time to be on the show, so we want to give him some more time to talk about his business and what he can do to help our listeners and their friends and family or whoever they know out there that might need some assistance with their home.
That's right. And one thing you touched on just a little earlier was the fact that nowadays what we're running into, because we not only sell real estate as realtors, we're builders, and a lot on our new houses. We get people that'll come to us, wants to buy a house, but their credit is just a little iffy. They've had problems, like you say. Things happen. Sometimes you can control it, but there's sometimes that you can't.
Sure.
It just happens, and it seems like people are really penalized now. Back a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess what got us kind of into this mess was banks was just loaning to pretty much anybody. Now they've gone so far the other direction that it is so hard for someone to qualify. We need somebody out there that can help people, because whether you're working with a realtor or not, there's folks out there that legitimately need help, and that seems like where you come in a lot.
You're right. It is more difficult than ever to get a traditional loan. Mm-hmm. The banks are under a lot of scrutiny, too, from the feds, that they have to adhere to all these regulations. And it's even to the point that sometimes during the loan process, and this happened to one of our clients just recently that was they'd got their credit where they needed to be, and they were approved. And during that process, the Fed changed another rule, and it made it where their loan wouldn't even go through. They had to jump through a few more hoops, and 2 or 3 months later, they actually did get qualified. But it is very difficult.
Right.
And so sometimes buying through this other type of financing is a good alternative. It really
Right.
is.
Yeah, it's so tough. And then I think you mentioned like the FHA and especially VA. I've done a couple VA deals with some folks here lately. 45 days till close, or one of them was over 45 days, and that gets so frustrating, especially for the person, for both sides, the person that's needing to sell, waiting that long, but the person that wants to buy, that they want to get that house, they want to get in there. Everybody like to be in a couple 3 weeks. That can't always happen, but somebody to help speed the process up, make it easy for everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It does help a lot. If you do qualify, there is some fantastic rates out there right now.
Yes,
There's no doubt
is.
about it.
Yeah.
And you want to take advantage of those if at all possible. But ideally, someone that either wants to do different financing than banks, and there could be some people with some fantastic credit, but what we've run into a lot too is some of our customers are self-employed, and they do all they can to take all the deductions in the world so they don't have to pay any extra taxes than they have to. Well, sometimes that doesn't allow them to qualify for a property that they really could afford. But they don't want to redo all their taxes, so they appear to make more money. So sometimes that's a good way. I mean, of course, they're falling within all the guidelines of what they can take, but banks are strict. You have to make X to qualify for Y.
Right.
That's true. Being self-employed, my husband and I have been self-employed for many years, and we have noticed over time, once in a while, we'll get a call from a bank or something to verify employment for one of our employees. It's easier for our employees to get a loan than for us to get a loan. And at one time, I mentioned it to a loan officer. I said, and who do you think is going to be the last one out the door in this company? It's not going to be the employee. It's going to be us, if something happens. But that's true. Self-employment, to be able to get loans and stuff is unbelievably complicated sometimes. And the amount of paperwork, I think, is just about doubled than if you are working for an employer. So those are things that, if you are self-employed and if you're needing to do something and you're finding that you're having to jump through all these hoops, and like Michael said, we take all the legal deductions we possibly can to avoid paying more taxes than we need to, but sometimes that will come back and bite you on the other side. So that would be someone else if you're in that category and you're needing some assistance with a home or something like that. Michael would be a good source for you because he can help you out with that situation. They understand that situation. They understand how that works into play with your business and everything. So.
Sure. Yeah, we try to help everybody with that. And sometimes if someone just doesn't know, we've got the resources and the phone numbers of the people that they can get in contact with from the lender to see if they qualify for traditional financing, which way is best for them, to if they've got a house to sell. We have all the people that they may need. If we're not the solution for them, maybe they need to know who to call to get repairs done, to get estimates on what it's going to take to get their house marketable. So we can help them with that too. And for advice, there's never any charge. And if someone wants, and there's so many good lenders out there, I can give numbers and names of some that we use if they want, or if they've got a relationship already with someone that they've worked with. By all means, give them that business if they've done good for you in the past.
Now it looks like you brought a magazine with you here, and it looks like it's what is this?
This is the Homes magazine. It was the last issue that we were in, and it's got a listing of some of the homes that we have available right now. I could mention a couple of the homes just to give some people some ideas of what we do have available, if you'd like.
Well, what I would like on your home here, and this is that magazine that you can pick up free in like grocery stores.
Yeah, the Homes magazine.
The Homes magazine. And I was noticing on the homes that you show for sale, you actually show what the monthly payment is, if there's a down payment. I mean, you give very specific information on what you have available as opposed to maybe a realtor, because a realtor, until the actual price is met, you don't know exactly what that's going to cost you per month, where yours really spells it all out.
Yeah, good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, a realtor can't really do that anyway, because if someone's doing a traditional purchase and a traditional loan, that's going to be between them, the mortgage company, what they qualify for, what the rate is at that time. With the homes that we own through our group of investors and people, we already know, what the home is, what we're available to do. And so when someone looks at our website or through our magazines, they may see, own this home for $795 a month, own this home for $595 a month, own this executive home on acreage for $1495 a month. So we've already figured those things out. So what it does is it really helps somebody. If they're shopping, we want a home, here's what we can afford. They know what the house is before they go look, because we don't want to waste their time or get them excited about something that doesn't really fall in their budget. And then on the flip side, we don't want to also waste our time. We want someone who says, hey, this is what we're looking for. We want a home in this area. We need these many bathrooms. We need this many bedrooms. And do we have it? And if we do, then they go, hey, this is exciting. We want to see this home. And we help them succeed with that, and they're not wasting their time.
Well, and the other thing with dealing with you and purchasing a home or something like that, you don't have any surprises. Sometimes when you're doing conventional financing, once in a while you'll have something comes up and they will give you an estimate of what it might cost you getting this home, but sometimes you get to closing, it's a little different than what maybe you were anticipating doing. We actually had that happen to us one time where our estimated closing costs, and we get to closing and it was higher than what we had anticipated. Well, after going through all the paperwork and everything, we found out that there was an error. So then you have to correct the error. You have to redo the paperwork. You have to, it can really get into a situation where it can take a lot of time and cause a lot of, buying a house is an emotional thing. And so when you think you've got it all put together and you're ready to go and you get down to the day where you're going to close, you don't want any surprises. At that point, you've mentally and emotionally purchase that home. And so then if you have something come up that might backfire or that's going to cause you, okay, well, we're going to have to put this off for another week till we get this fixed, or whatever the situation may be. And that doesn't always happen, but it does happen, because like I said, that did happen to us at one time, and it can be a little unnerving to have to go through that.
That's a good point. I believe you're exactly right. Many people are so afraid that, it sounds too good to be true, or we're going to get there and we're going to get excited, then it's not going to work for us. And we avoid all that. We don't have surprises. That's why we have so much of the information up front. If they find a home that fits their needs, hey, this payment, this down payment, all that works for them. When they get to our office and they're filling out paperwork, there's not going to be a surprise. We've already done that work before they've ever spent their time to go look at the property. We don't want anybody to get real excited and be disappointed. And we're just like anybody. We're just looking for good people that want to own a home and make their payments and own that home. That's all we're looking for. And of course, they win because they get a home for their family, and we win because we're doing the business in the right way.
And Mary, it's not only emotional sometimes to buy a home, a lot of emotions. It is sometimes to sell a home too, because
yes, it is.
If you live in the same place for 20, 30 years, you may have raised your kids there. It's very emotional to turn loose of that. You have those ties to it. Sometimes it's better to go to somebody like Michael that can get rid of that house like that, so you don't have time to sit and think about it. It's done. It's a done deal. It's gone. Let's move on, because it can be a quite emotional process to sell a home.
That's true. And, actually, as much as we wanted to be at the lake full time, when the last day we were at our house in Nixa, and I have a friend who's going through this right now, and it can be really difficult. And I thought I was ready to go and it wasn't going to be any problem. But the last day that we were packing up the last stuff, I kind of had a little meltdown. I was like, wow. We've been here 20 years. This is where we raised our children. And I was going through stuff and thought of all the cool things we had. And we entertained a lot. And so all of my friends came to mind. I thought, yeah, my friends were here and we did this, that. But,
Right.
it's my dad, sometimes my dad is a very, very good source of information and just comfort when I'm struggling with issues or something. And so I always called my dad, talked to him. I said, it was really kind of hard, Dad, and I didn't think it'd be that hard. And he gave me some really good advice. He goes, he said, there are times in your life when it's time to move on. You always want to be looking forward. Right. Life can be good no matter what your life is, where you are, as long as you're looking forward. It's okay to have great memories, but don't get stuck there.
That's right.
And my dad was a pilot for years and years and years, and just a few years ago, he actually sold his plane, he sold his hangar, he still rides his Harley, but he said, I was at the point in my life, he said, I love flying, but I just knew it was time to let that part of my life go. Right. And he's never looked back, and he doesn't regret it. So he's real good at giving me pointers and tips on how to do things like that, and that really helped me kind of overcome that. So if someone's out there kind of struggling with that, look at where you're moving to. It's a new adventure. I mean, living at the lake has been wonderful for us. We have great friends down there. Our friends and family love to come down there. And mostly, even when we still had the house at Nixa, when we all got together, that's where we were getting together at, was at the lake, because it was so enjoyable to be there. So that really helped me kind of get through that. And I know a lot of people are struggling with that. I have a real good friend now that's kind of going through that. And,
Sure.
And it can be really tough. Maybe, I'm sure it's tough for the guys, but it seems like the moms really get an emotional attachment to their homes. But it's kind of nice to have someone to make that process easy for you.
That's right.
And so that was easy for me, dealing with Michael on our house in Nixa, because it didn't take months and months. I wasn't killing myself trying to keep everything, spotless, so people could, go through it. And the other thing is, a lot of times you'll have people that want to look at a home, and if they haven't been pre-qualified, or if they're just out looking, you have people coming through your house that could never qualify for it. And
Exactly.
so you can have a lot of foot traffic through there that is never going to be able to purchase it.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing, because we as realtors, we do just like you guys. We try to make sure the person can afford that house before we take them.
Sure.
Disrupt the family who's living there.
Right.
To bring somebody through that has no means at all of buying that house. We try not to do that, because it just upsets everybody. And there's nothing worse than showing somebody a house, getting them all excited, knowing that they can't afford it. That's terrible too, And so I know us as realtors, we try to avoid that. Try to pre-qualify people. It can't happen all the time. I mean, there are always those that slips through the cracks. And,
Sure.
And but I can see where, with Michael here, it'd be a great process.
Well, that's a good point. And that's a sign of a professional realtor in doing what you just said, because it's not good if you're wasting their time, your time, getting people excited just to be let down. And I think anybody that's listing a home with a realtor and they're doing all those things up front, then they're going to have a good experience with that realtor, because they're looking out for that seller. And then also, if they're a buyer's agent, they're looking out for that buyer. And sometimes people just need to They don't know how the process. They don't know what they really qualify for, and then a good realtor or investor is helping that person up front. They're not just leading them all over and getting them excited just to say, let's go back to the office and see if you really can afford this. They're doing that up front. Because people need guidance. I mean, if you're not in that realm of profession, you have this job or that job, and you really don't know how the system works, hopefully you're working with someone that is going to take care of that, educate you, so you have a good experience. And everybody wins when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're getting close on time here. We got about maybe 2.5 minutes or so left. So one of the things I wanted to bring out is, not only do you just advertise in local magazines, but you, on your website, that is far-reaching. So, I mean, you can bring in buyers. We have people that move into this part of the country all the time who wouldn't want to live here. It's a great part of the country to live in. And so I know that in an instance that you actually brought in a buyer, someone from California who was looking for a home and was able to purchase a home from out of state. So you do have
California, Hawaii, Chicago.
Yes.
We have many people moving here, and the internet is a huge tool. If you're not a realtor, whoever, if you don't have a presence on the internet, then you definitely are missing a huge volume of the buyers.
And I think that's important when you're ready to sell. Make sure that you're marketing to the biggest group of buyers that you can possibly reach that is looking for your particular type of home. And so that's something that Michael does as well, is that he makes sure that, he gets people that are moving in, not just local people moving from one location to another locally, but he's drawing people in from all parts of the country. So, for instance, our house in Nixa, some people from Hawaii actually bought it. We had exactly what they were looking for. They found it, and I think you said they purchased it without even actually seeing it. They
saw pictures and a video, but they went on a lot of faith, and happy to say that when they got here, I asked the buyer, I asked the gentleman, I said, well, did it meet your expectations? And he said no. He said it exceeded it. This is incredible. He was very happy. Of course, you got to keep in mind as a seller, if you're selling a home here in the Ozarks and someone's coming from California or Hawaii or somewhere like that, well, if your home's a $150,000 home here, well, it's 3 or 4 times that in those places.
Yes, correct. Well, it looks like Dan's telling us that we're just about a minute left. So why don't you give out your contact information one more time, just in case someone missed it the first time?
Sure. It's MPJ Enterprises Midwest Management. Our phone numbers are 619-3587 or 597-3140. Our websites are ownahome2day.net, and the 2 is the number 2, and sellyourhome2day.net. We look forward to helping you.
Thanks for being with us today, Michael. It was great to have you here. Lots of great information out to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And the music's going, so I guess we're going to have to wrap it up.
Well, yeah. You doing anything wild and exciting this weekend?
I hope not.
Just a good. Yep, there you go. We like those.
I hope not.
Yep. Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTL. You know what, Mary?
What, Mark?
We're being compared as the Porter and Dolly of talk radio, or the Conway and Loretta, or
oh
the
my
Georgia
goodness.
Sammy. So now I've already heard that. So
wow.
So yeah, every Friday morning right here on AM 560 KWTL.